Well, what can I say? Here I am going through a happy, nice, bright day. And would you believe what I see? The powers to be still messing up routes. You got 2 routes, literally 2 routes. No ifs and buts about it. And they're literally running on each other's jack seats. Literally. No wonder they've gone to the other company. Thank God for all you lucky people out there who are actually going to have a decent service, because this lot still, as always, with the ones who are taking the 2 number figure, can't run a service, as it's clearly proved. I mean, how many people have been waiting? You've got one bloke sitting on here, you know, as I used to say in another terminology, arse-licking. You've got one guy arse-licking who don't want to do jack diddly squid. And you got one guy who's running late anyway. And of all the things, they still, in any way, shape or form, are still running each other on each other's rear ends, running late and on each other's rear ends. Not marking a time, which is something you must do in a service. Unfortunately, the powers to be, that where the 2-digit ending with 8 is going, who are now in this particular current company that are now running the 3-digit ending with 8, goes to Croydon, can't seem to manage it, and that's why I'm not too surprised they lost their route. Thank God for everyone in the 27th, well the 31st we've got to now. We're all going to be happy because we're all going to actually start seeing a proper service, not by the go-a-low company. I have to say it this time. I'll probably get in trouble for that, but it's an abomination. They've employed rejects from another company that can't run a service, who've got no experience within this industry long enough. All the old boys, including myself, have been in the industry 30 plus years. We know the road. All the idiots that are in there now, the powers to be, regrettably, with the exception of 1 or 2 from the AVL, that's an old system we used to use, have only had maximum 5 to 10 years experience on the road. I've got to be honest. Hello, ain't you wondering why you're losing your routes? Because those idiots don't know what the hell they're doing. So come on. Don't you think now you're losing more and more routes by degree? Get shot of them, get people with experience who know the road. You might just keep your routes. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But anyway.
No, tomorrow night.
I get a rollicking for being too loud, so I don't want to be too loud. All I can say for the fact is,
no way you can get up.
Yep, they're running it in their famous way, the go-low way.
No, not recently.
You've got 3 running together on the 3 digits, ending with 8. That's now going to another company, thank God, at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And they are literally, you got 3 of them running together within minutes together. Now the road officially on that current route is meant to be 8 minutes. 8 minutes is meant to be the gap, not 2 minutes and a matter of seconds, because that's not how you run a service. Regardless of the wrecks they're using, as always, more will be blown with what gnaws the bus drivers' balls tomorrow, which is getting released tomorrow. Until the next time, I wanted to share that with everyone out there who do pay attention to this page. I'm not slagging people down, but I do think that take heed, listen, be careful, pay attention, get rid of the rejects from the other company. You might just keep your company and your services. But that's all I wanted to share. Until the next time or not, take care of yourselves, be lucky. That's Maddog saying bye for now. Bye. Today London was grieved by trauma as a number of people were found to have drowned upon a bus going to the central part of the city. There's an inquiry still taking place on why this took place, but it was accorded that it was very wet and it was like Niagara Falls. An inquiry has been launched today that why there's a number of passengers and a driver was found frozen to the seat of his given vehicle. Apparently it was a very new vehicle. Claims are stating that it was because the aircon refused to counsel. Also, another account was stated that it was because the driver was just going too damn slow. Therefore, people had frozen to their unfortunate death. There is a further inquiry going on with this matter. And LT will be on you as quick as you can say Jack Ridley Squit. No, Jack Freezer. A bus driver was fined for chasing the rear end and almost colliding with his leader within 2 seconds of a road. They took a bend and he took it as well. And at that particular bend it was a straight angle. The inquiry is still taking place of why this took place. And the fact is that the driver still is sitting on the rear end of that particular driver. Wonders why and how can this happen? An inquiry is ongoing on why such matters do take place. A person was left standing at a stop after several buses went past without stopping. This person in particular was, in fact, a scarecrow, but the driver opened the doors, one that did serve, and was wondering why he was still waiting there. There was already several buses gone by, wondering why and where that bus has disappeared to, because he decided to stop for this scarecrow. There's an inquiry also impending on why so many buses were going through. Through what is a question no one actually knows. They were red, they went through fast, and all we know is that they didn't seem to stop, or they were unable to stop because they are probably very old buses.
Hey, the weather today is very wet. Tsunamis is predicted on a local London bus. Very red and very wet. There is also ice coming in on the east and south of the route. The understanding is no one's got ice skates. And the bus don't know how to stop. That is the weather coming from the east and also to the south, with occasional shadows or heat billowing at such a low temperature, like -2. That is the weather today.
Well, yeah, as I was saying, I mean, here we are. It's not even a rush hour period. I mean, the traffic is heavy, of course. It would be this time of the day anyway. But yet, lo and behold, my famous route is still running. 4 of them in one bloody, and 4 of them going in the same direction within seconds of each other. And that ain't the end of it. You go back the other way and guess, lo and behold, bang, you got another 4 of them going the other way. So you can imagine, in the theory of bus driving, you're meant to work to a criteria. Now the gap between the particular route I'm mentioning, which is my rotor line, now to be gone, thank God, to a decent company who will run the service, and that is, you're meant to have an 8-minute road. The minimum is an 8-minute road to a 10-minute road. No, the particular company that are running that contract until the end of the month they're running it within seconds of each other. I mean, seconds? That is not, as I said before, how you run a service. If I had a nice example, I would show everybody out there how you are supposed to run a service. You're not supposed to run a service with them each other sitting on each other's rear ends, because guess what? That ain't relying a service. That's why they lost it, because the idiots, powers to be, do not know or comprehend their role as maintaining a service. I mean, the idea of maintaining a service, let's give a bit of education here, without the examples. Awkward, I know. But the idea of running a service, you get a bus, you get a franchise. You're leasing that franchise for a period of 4 years. If you do it well, you may get an extension to 5 years. I won't go through the technical jargon of that. There is a lot more involved. But you're running a service. Now, you've bidded and got the best bid, and you won the lease, and you've won the rights to run that service for a particular time. Fair enough. We all do that. Everyone says, well done, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to doing this route. But, sadly enough, the powers to be, who are with ill knowledge and experience within the industry, because obviously with the industry these days, dog eat dog is what it is. I mean, God, dogs are messy, and geez, to eat another dog, ooh, you can imagine the mess that would be. And I'm sure that's a crime. But anyway, aside of all of that, lo and behold, you're running a service, you've just won the franchise, you've just won the lease of that route. So therefore, you said, oh, I can do such and such numbers in such and such minutes per route, so many buses per route. And then when you get a bunch of clowns, inexperienced staff, which is very obvious to all of us out there in the public who can see it clearly, those who especially are within this industry, can see, hang on 1 second, wait 1 minute. I did wait a minute, but I get bored, and then you might get bored. Train going by. But anyway, that train will run better than our services. But anyway, yep, definitely will run better than our services. But beside the point of that, so you've won the lease. You're going to run your services as you bidded and won. I will do, for argument's sake, 6 buses an hour. Instead of 10 an hour, and then 10 every 2 hours is what the current company are running, because they don't comprehend the fact that you won the lease, you've lost the lease, but you're still responsible for the lost mileage. That is what is accrued every time you've got a bus arse licking to another bus. You've got 2 buses, 3 buses, in our cases, 4 buses running together. Now, out of those 4 buses that are running together, I may have discussed this once before, but I can't remember. You got these 4 buses running together, and lo and behold, what are you going to find out's going to happen? Well, the answer is, you got 1 bus, non-runner. That's findable to the company that bidded for the lease. You got the second bus, very close to it's still late running. Guess what? Another fine. Double the fine there. You got 1 late runner, who's just struggling. No, actually, he's running early. Guess what? He's running too early. That's another fine. The one in behind, right on their arse. Guess what? Another fine. So, you ain't got a bus running in the agreed time slot that you want to run a service. Therefore, that's cost the company on average. I'm just throwing figures. It's not known fact, but it is figures. Unless there's a reason why they're running on each other's rear ends, that's now cost that company over $1,000 plus each goddamn bus. I mean, I know they're a wealthy company and they're being well established, but come on, still, you've employed idiots that don't know the road, haven't the experience, and you're costing yourself your routes, your business, and heavy fines. Of course, it's not to wonder that the staff within the companies are losing rest days. They're not only losing rest days, they're losing hours because the company is so busy chasing its rear end, paying for the fines that the incompetent staff that are running them are messing them up. The whole idea is you bid for that route. That route you're the leaseholder of for 4 to 5 years. Run it to what you said you can run it. If you don't run it in that way, you will end up getting your rear end tanned. Mind you, some cases, tanned rear end, other than being a bit sore, would probably be quite comfortable, especially if you're a super fit person. And well, women, well, we don't need to go about that. No disrespect to women. You get a tanned rear end, everyone's going to be looking, eyes forward. Mind you, that's probably what most of the powers to be do. Probably too busy looking at how sexy the women are driving the buses these days. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just a driver who's off duty, I might add. But still the same. The question is, why are companies running like they are and they don't seem to, and they're scratching their heads and saying, well, why are we losing these routes? It's because you are not running the route as you bid. As you won that bid, you should be running the route to that degree. I mean, they've had a number of new routes come their way, in spite of the loss of the recents. And you can guarantee, not only will these do it, but the other company that have taken the routes over, with the exception of one, are going to mess it up. Like the one ending with 8 for 3-digit, I can see they're going to run that while. They're going to hold that as long as the current company of the time held that route for a long, long period. The one that's the same number but ending with just 2 numbers, ending with 8, it's just like you're just swapping names. It's still run by the same idiots who don't know how to run a service. So, as I said many times over, the commiserations go to you passengers that use those free buses, because those free buses are run by another incompetent company that will not actually run it any different to the company that have currently lost that route. One would say, well, why the hell didn't they take the bleeding X prefix of that same number? That would work better. But, you know, they don't seem to comprehend that this is what you've got to do. You've got to run a service. This is how you actually run a service. You fail to run that service, that's going to bite on your wallet. It's going to bite on your reputation as a company. People look upon you and says, oh yeah, you're the one that messed up that route. Oh, by the way, oh God, you messed up that route too. In fact, you messed up so many routes. How are you still surviving? Man, I don't even know that myself, because they are surviving this. God knows why, but let's put it to the other people above those. Wake up and look what they're doing wrong. Don't you think you should crucify them a little bit harder now? Because they clearly ain't getting the message that they're not running their service as per rata, as agreed by their contract for bidding of such a route. Bidding would be a good thing, depending on which type of way you want to bid. I mean, I kind of fancy a good will that works. But then I do fancy a good chocolate bar. Hey man, I could do that better than the service. But anyway, that's irrelevant, totally irrelevant to the total subject to task at hand.
Wagon wheel.
A wagon wheel is what they use for their wheels. It's very true fact. I mean, you ask questions of why are they running them? Who are running them? Oh, the Red Bus Company. What Red Bus Company? Oh, was that a company? I thought they were a bunch of cowboys. You can almost hear the Raw Hide theme going on regularly. Loud as hell. Yes. And so I asked myself, upon the very question is, well, now we've said all what's said to be done. Apart from the whips, the horses and the wagon wheels, why are they running? Why are they still existing? Man, put Coco the Clown in, he'll be in charge of it better, and he probably could do it better. Does he still exist? I don't know. Oh no, that's us bus drivers. Till the next time, I thought I wanted to share that with everyone and share my opinion. If you want to add an opinion to this, catch me on tweet or catch me on Facebook, or put your comment on here. Give me the thumb up if you liked it, or the thumb down if you don't like it. And always remember, subscribe, we could do with it. Till the next time or not. For once now I'm saying adieu, farewell, bye-bye, and hopefully I'll catch the farewell of the route ending with 8, 2 number, and the 3 number. Hopefully I'll catch the last bus or the first bus of the new company that's going to be running those routes. Well done for those who are going to be on the 3 prefix one, and unfortunately commiserations to you poor sods and suckers who have to tolerate it, still the same old rubbish with the 2-figure number by the other company. Till the next time or not, take care, be safe and enjoy or not, and subscribe.
Right.
So